We're getting a lot of that rain. There's no doubt about it. But the sun is shining in Phoenix, and it's heading to Milwaukee. Keyshawn, J. Will, Zubin, presented by Progressive Insurance. All guests join us on the Goodyear Hotline. Q Rich, we got Q Rich right this hour? Yeah, we got him coming up in a few minutes, so we'll talk with him about this stuff. But, you know, we were talking about the fact that, all right, so Suns fans, the Suns have been to the finals before, but this is as close as it feels like they will get to a championship.
That was the Kevin Johnson Barkley years.
Yeah, that one, and then against the Celtics a bunch of years ago as well. But you have, but what you have now is a fan base that has, you know, been waiting for a championship.
Starving.
Arizona's had the Diamondbacks. You remember that, of course, 2001 against the Yankees. But
the big unit.
What a series that was. But when we talk about now, are we going franchise or are we going fan bases?
We went through this already.
I know we did. Because I feel like it's fan base more than franchise. What franchise desperately needs to win a championship?
Franchise, because fan base is an entire city, in my opinion.
It's beyond cities. Some teams.
Well, yeah, it's beyond cities. So just concentrate on the franchise.
You want me to
one building,
focus?
One building with the one general manager and the head coach. Just that particular spot.
Wait a minute. City in your mind means that a person from New York roots for all the New York teams.
No, it spills over though. Even if they tell you they're not a Brooklyn Nets fan,
right?
Because they're a Knicks fan. Silently, they would take the satisfaction of a Nets team winning because
you must be out of your mind. Are you out of your mind?
I was gonna say, that's wow.
But we're not going to turn this into New York. We're not going to do that.
I should have used DC as an example.
No, you did by using
do you
awful
rather?
That's an
so
awful
let me ask you a
example.
question though before I move on.
Oh, I'm not moving on. Because I'm going to.
Did you take any satisfaction whatsoever, Mr. Hahn, at all, when the New York Giants defeated the New England Patriots out of the AFC East in the Super Bowl? Did you take any satisfaction? It's a simple question, yes or no.
Yes, I did.
Okay, move along.
Where's the? I was like, where's the
no
judge
connection,
music?
No, there
to
is.
the Nets.
It's
None.
a connection.
No,
it's a New York. I just gave you a New York connection.
That's one. That doesn't exist in any other sport in New York.
I gave you a New York connection.
I do think that's different when it comes to basketball.
I gave you a New York connection
and baseball.
But I gave you
no Yankee fan rooting for the Mets is no Met fan.
I gave you a connection.
Okay, there's one.
That's all I need.
You
to prove my point. I gave you a connection, which is the city or the New York Giants.
So when the Clippers win a championship, you're like, well, at least it's LA.
No, I'm like, okay, whatever. I don't care.
That's exactly.
But at least they did.
The Giant thing involved the fact that the biggest rival who I couldn't stand in the Patriots, I didn't want to see them win. So it was like, oh, well, a New York team wins and Tom Brady and the Patriots don't. Okay, I'm good with that.
Yes.
That made
it
easy.
You still take satisfaction toward it. But look.
But Giants, Baltimore Ravens in 2000? No.
Well.
I'm not feeling that a year after the Jets get to the AFC Championship. I'm not feeling that.
Day. Anyway.
This is, okay, we digress.
All right, yeah, let's move on.
That's why I said anyway.
Yeah, anyway is right. All right, so we give you a couple of teams here, and you guys tell me if they deserve, like out of these, who deserves it the most. The easy one is Cleveland Browns.
Yes, Cleveland Browns are for me 100%.
They've been through
They're
a lot.
Starving. Like they'll do
been
anything.
through a lot.
Even though LeBron James brought them a championship basketball-wise, the football fan base, they're just.
Would you argue that football, though, the Browns, like it's a bigger, even though the Cavs,
it's bigger.
LeBron made them big, the Browns in Cleveland is everything, right?
Synonymous.
Everything.
They've been so close.
Cleveland, Akron, that whole area.
Think about what happened in the drive, Denver Broncos back then when they did what they did in the end of that game. John Elway, bam, I forgot. I think he threw it to Vance Joseph for the touchdown or whatever, and then Mack fumbles the football.
Yep.
So think about what Cleveland has gone through in an organization. Like they've gone through 17,100 coaches.
Up and left at one point. Like so, yeah, they have certainly been through a lot. Again, 888 say ESPN 888-729-3776 for you to be part of this conversation.
That's one.
At KJ and Z as well on Twitter.
Two.
How about the Vegas Raiders or just Raiders in general? I don't even put a city in front of Raiders because, as you mentioned, they're not really a fan base from one city. They're all over the West Coast.
Franchise-wise, they need to get a championship because even though it's the Raiders, the value of the franchise, they should be with the Dallas Cowboys value-wise. They should be with the Washington football team value-wise. They really should. At the top of the Forbes list, they should be with the
great brands
Yankees.
in sports.
They should be with the Lakers, the Dodgers, because much like you just said, the brand. That brand goes all the way. Absolutely.
Okay. All right. I mean, I hear you, and I can
You can walk through any airport, Monica, and you probably will pay attention now because I said it.
Right.
Man, you're going to see people with Raider gear on walking through a Pittsburgh airport.
So, and I understand that, and I can think of like conversations with my dad and all of that, but I didn't still, like, it doesn't feel like they have the same.
You think they're losing it?
To me, and
Cachet?
I'm younger than y'all, but like,
That ain't got nothing to do with nothing.
No, it does, because I know what you're talking about, and I've seen the videos and watched the history, and Al Davis and the whole bit.
If you don't win for a good 20-something years,
you miss it.
You
miss
will lose a whole
group
generation of fans. That is true what Monica's saying. But ask Key who the most popular football team is in LA.
Who's the most popular football team in LA?
The Raiders.
Isn't that amazing? They haven't been there in 20 years.
The Raiders,
Probably more than 20, I should say. More than 20.
because the Raider connection is across all the way, right? They Hispanic population for them, fan base, huge. White fan base, huge. Black, huge. Like the Raiders is a brand that could travel overseas, like literally. But they just haven't been on the radar recently.
It's funny because when I think of like Raiders gear, I also think of throwback Georgetown gear. And I think of those as brands that we saw particularly like in black communities and not pop culture, and the culture in terms of the old throwback gear. And Georgetown is the same thing. Like they haven't necessarily been successful as of late. Shout out to the Big East champs, Big Pat, Patrick Ewing. But yeah, okay.
888 say ESPN 888-729-3776. You want to give me another one?
Chicago Bears.
Well, it's funny because Clinton in Illinois is calling us about that very point. Clinton,
Hello.
how you doing?
I am doing well. How are y'all doing?
Man, it's Friday, man. What you mean?
Exactly.
Man, that's exactly what I'm talking about.
I've been working all week.
Man, I am so happy to hear from y'all. And yes, the Chicago Bears. If anyone deserves a title, why not us? We've got a brand new quarterback that can't wait to start to hand it off and throw it down the field. And when we get a title, we're going to get another one. Because I'm telling you something, we got two hands, one for one title, the other for the other.
So Clinton, you are in full bloom love
Then, man. Go on,
with Justin Fields.
That's
You
right.
believe Justin Fields is going to lead you to that championship?
Yeah, so let me give you a time stamp on that. May not be this year, but I can tell you as long as Matt Nagy and the Bears go ahead and get this right, let's go ahead and bring that title in within the 5 years. But if I'm really pushing it, man, come on, within 3.
Within 3 years.
Within
or at least
3
within the
years, if we
5-year
do this
rookie
right.
deal.
Well, that's good.
Okay.
Though. He feels passionate about it.
And you should. Thank you, Clinton.
Fan is short for fanatic.
Yeah, well, I mean, is it that crazy to think?
Suns
though?
are big.
The
I'm just
defense is
thinking in
good?
my head.
Yeah, good. A couple others.
The Suns are big. The Edmonton Oilers in hockey.
Now stop it.
You did that just for
the
her.
Edmonton Oilers, they've won 5 Stanley
The
Cups.
Clippers
in the
need it
80s.
bad. Clippers need it bad.
I mean,
I was gonna say the Sacramento Kings, but
Oh man, wow,
But-
that's deep in there.
they just a
Sacramento.
team with a uniform. That's a franchise with a
franchise.
uniform. Yeah, they just don't nobody really care
what about
about
your
them.
former New York Jets?
Jets need it
How
in the worst
bad
way.
do they need
Yeah,
a Super Bowl?
they
I
got
feel bad
them
for
Chris
that fan
Paul
base.
tears in them right now.
Aw.
Because Chris Paul, they gonna cut it open like a pack of M&Ms when it's over with. It's gonna pour all out.
Oh, it's going to be such a
Ooh.
beautiful moment.
Let's go.
30
Oh,
for 30
I-
by his production.
gonna
Oh,
be
I
a big
need
deal.
all the snot out. I need all that when he win this championship.
Just an absolute mess.
Oh, I
We're
need-
all going to be a puddle
I need it
just
all.
watching it, right? All right, so we'll continue with your calls on this.
Please stop. Please.
Try not to get too emotional this early in the morning. So what do the Bucks need to do to bounce back in Game 3 of the NBA Finals? What do they need to do to get back in this series? And we can start talking about Giannis winning a championship. We'll discuss that after Monica has this
I can't believe
From
this dream I had. I won.
Ranger.
You good? For all the ones who get it done, Granger is always there to help. Granger offers